What's up, guys? It's TJ here. Today I'm here to talk about what does Hollywood do after this pandemic is over. Do you, ever since this pandemic started this year, a lot of movies that were supposed to come out this year ended up getting pushed into 2021 or getting put into streaming. So a lot of movies like Fast and Furious, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, a lot of those big type of movies either got pushed to the next year, and some like smaller stuff got put on streaming. And now that some theaters are open, they have started putting movies back in theaters. The only real big movie that came out was Tenet, and and then they put Mulan on streaming as a streaming only thing. And what does Hollywood do once this pandemic is over? It's because there's a very real possibility that the movie theaters might not be around anymore once this pandemic is over. So what we're going to talk about today is, first we're going to talk about how it normally works in Hollywood when making a movie. So when you're making a movie, you get your production budget, you get marketing, and you get theaters cut. So production budget is how much it costs to actually film the movie, to get everything ready to film the movie. So the camera, actors, sets, all that stuff. So that's what production is. Then you get the marketing. That's how marketing budget. So that's how much it costs to market the movie, to put out trailers, posters, merchandise. That's pretty much what that is. And the theaters cut. So the theaters usually get an average a third of the total box office of a movie. So let's say a movie makes 300 million. Theaters cut probably is, my math isn't the strongest, so bear with me. But let's say you make 300 million. You theaters get like 100 million. So I think math was never my strongest subject, but yeah, so it's the basic example of how that works. So that's usually how it works. And a lot of these companies spend a lot of money, up to like $200+ million on a movie. And in movies, they don't make as much on streaming as it does in a theater, because you can only, each and every person that goes have to buy their ticket, and you can only see it at one time. Each time you go to see it, you have to pay again. With streaming, you don't have to do that. You can just buy it once and invite as many people as you want to come watch it. And usually, in most cases, you're able to keep it. They recently tried to do that with Mulan. They tried to they released it at $30 plus you have to pay for Disney Plus. You have to pay for Disney Plus as well with the monthly subscription. You had to pay an extra $30 on top of that to watch Mulan, and it didn't end well for them. It didn't end well. So then they tried to release Tenet, a big movie, in theaters right now, and that didn't do well either. So what they did was, so Tenet cost about 200 million to make. It made a little over 200 million, but then you also got to keep it in mind the marketing budget and the theaters cut. So I forgot to mention earlier, some movies do have distributors, so the distributors get their cut. But like places like Disney, Warner Brothers, and some other companies as well, they distribute their own movies, so they don't really have to worry about that. But so that's another cost in mind as well. So what does the movie theaters do?
Why is he writing to you? If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind?
Because they don't make as much money as they do on streaming. Do they do on in making it in a movie theater? And a lot of people don't realize there is a business side to all this. You know, there is a business side to all this, and it's not called show friends; it's show business. And movies are an investment. You put in money into something, hope it makes you back more money. So you gotta keep that in mind too. So, you know, if let's say what I think, I'll say this: I think when this pandemic is over, if I had to put $5 on it, I would say that the movie theaters are still around. But I think it's a very real possibility that the movie theaters. I think it's a possibility. Not saying it's a high possibility. Not saying it's a low possibility. Just saying it's possible that the movie theaters might not be around anymore by the time this whole pandemic is over. And you know, movies like Avengers and DC movies, Marvel, Star Wars, Fast and Furious, all those type of movies cost a lot of money. And those big grand special effects and visual effects, all that costs money, a lot of money. And and you know, we might be looking at the future where comic book movies and certain properties might not be as valuable anymore because they don't make really any money. Since you can't put them in theaters, they don't make nowhere near as much money. And if we do get it, it will be drastically different from the comic book movies we're getting now. So it's it's a very very you know weird time to be for movie theaters right now. And I love going to the movie theaters. I think that's why I think the movie theaters will still be around is because we're going to the movies is such an ingrained part of our society. You know, it's cheaper. It's a very cheap way to go out with your friends or something. You know, it's cheaper than going to a bar. It's cheaper than going to a concert. It's a very cheap way to just going out, hanging out somewhere and hanging with your friends. And you know, it's just a good way to just escape from the problems of life. And you know, I do, yeah, like I said, I do think the movie theaters will still be around, but I do think there is a possibility that it might not. And these are just my thoughts of what might happen if that happens. And let's say the movie theaters are still around. You know, do they just focus on putting out really big movies for the time being for a while, or do they stick with the regular schedule, how they regularly do it? That's interesting. That's another situation that could happen. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think will happen to Hollywood once this pandemic is over? Like, comment, subscribe.